All right, everyone, welcome back to the Golf Unfiltered podcast. My name's Adam from golfunfiltered.com. Joining me is my co-host, Nikki Dunagan. Nikki, nice to see you again.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
It's going well. You know, it's interesting. Eagle Eye YouTube viewers were giving me a hard time about my wall behind me because it was pre being painted. My wife, Mrs. GU, does not allow me to paint anything in this house. And that is very smart because I am terrible. But what we went with is this darker color. And now I've got this desk lamp, so it looks like I'm glowing. It's terrible. I don't know how to get this figured out.
You got to angle it like higher to get like more of a, you got to get those like Instagram, selfie lights where they're more in front of you.
Light.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this is turning into an obsession now. And it's weird because like, as you and I both do, we work from home most of the time. And we've got these conference calls we have to do on camera. It's madness. I look like I'm glowing. I'm usually pasty anyway, but this is bad.
Yeah. The key is you just keep your camera off. That's what I do. Just keep the camera off and then panic when someone says, "Hey, can we turn your camera on?" And you go, "What?"
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Last year, actually, my manager was just starting and his first day was on Halloween. And previously we had a company policy of like cameras off unless it's like a one-on-one. My manager was just starting. It was his first day. And I knew I was going to have to go straight from work to a Halloween thing. And I was already dressed in my Halloween costume. Nice. And they were like, "Well, let's turn our cameras on so you can see us and meet us." And I'm going, because I was dressed as the girl from Dodgeball with the buns and the unibrow and I'm going, no. So I had to feign my camera's not really working right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was camera off is a good go.
Camera off. Yeah. Let us know in the comments. What's your take on camera on or off for work calls? Well, we have to have cameras on for this, and I'm glad that we are because it's always good to connect. It's good to talk about the week that was in the world of golf. Obviously, it's a very important week coming up for team golf, if you want to look at it that way, especially with the Ryder Cup occurring this weekend. Last weekend,
hang on just a second. It's a little chilly in here. I need to.
Gosh, she's always got something planned.
It's a little chilly. I gotta.
Is that an Olympic jacket?
Yeah. It's a Team USA jacket for the Ryder Cup. I am representing. So, I just got a little chilly. I needed to put this on.
So this goes back to before we get into all of that, but this goes back to you and I talking about with Dan the Ryder Cup predictions. We're going to talk more in depth about it. I'm still Team Europe at this point. You're obviously Ride or Die Team USA right now.
Yes, I am, and I need to make a statement. I need to make an apology to Justin Thomas. I said some things last time that were hurtful. I said that he should not get on that plane, and then they brought him anyway. But you know what? He has, in the past couple weeks, proven that, he is out to make sure that that team brings home the trophy. So, yeah, I think I had put my foot in my mouth a couple weeks ago. So, and I think we're going to see that in this coming week. So
this is the first public apology on the GU podcast.
I'm apologizing now so that when he does really well and we win, everyone's not like, ha, 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 ha. Like I'm going ahead and preemptively apologizing so that I don't look stupid.
Well, there you have it, folks. So we've cleared the air. Nikki Dunagan with her public apology. I think people will appreciate that. I know our TikTok followers are going to appreciate it. I mean, I don't know if you looked at the comments. They let you have it a little bit.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm doing it.
Hence the apology. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about the Solheim Cup. Before we get into that, though, some extremely important news that only you, Nikki, can really talk about because you are our in-house Taylor Swift expert. You are the person I go to for all things Taylor. Last night, the haphazard, somewhat NFL team Chicago Bears get demolished by the Kansas City Chiefs, but no one really cared about that because what actually was the biggest story?
Yeah. So, okay, I was not going to watch that game. Also, regionally, we didn't get that game anyway. We got the Dallas game and the Seahawks game. And all of a sudden, I see the report that was like Taylor Swift's going to be at Arrowhead. And I was like, I need an illegal stream. Like, I need a Reddit stream. I need something to watch this game because I just know that there's a camera operator that's going to be assigned and locked to that suite the whole game, which it seemed like there was. And yeah, that was my immediate reaction was I gotta watch this game. And I mean, I had players on my fantasy teams spread throughout the different games. And so, yeah, it would have been nice to watch the game anyway, but I wasn't watching it for that. I needed to see her reactions because I needed to know, like, is this like a for real thing? Is she really in it? Is this like a PR thing? Is this like a Tom Hiddleston situation all over again where he's in the I Heart TS t-shirt? Like, because we've seen that before where it's very much, I'm super in love. This is like a for real thing. And it very much is a PR thing. But I don't know. I don't know. All I'm going to say is I just want her to be happy. I just want her to be happy. And I like it because he's successful. He has a 401k. He's stable. Like, he's attractive. He has like his mom. Can we talk about his mom? Like, yeah. And the only problem is that she's an Eagles fan. So, like, I mean, a lifelong Eagles fan, and I mean, yes, now she rooted for Travis, but like, that's got to be weird. But I mean, his mom had one of those jerseys made that has like the split, that the front of it is the Chiefs jersey and the back is the Eagles because she's got a son playing on both teams. I think she needs to get Taylor one of those jerseys that's like, split. I don't know. I was heavily invested in the commentary yesterday.
Now, if I remember right, on our group chat, you were saying that you were at another show when all of this was basically playing out. Is that, or was that after?
Well, no, I had watched the very first of it. And then I was on the way to, we went to go see comedian Leanne Morgan last night at the Fox in Atlanta, who, by the way, absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen her Netflix special, go watch it. It's amazing. And I'm sitting there, the show's about to start, and I'm getting all of these texts, and our good friend Samantha Marks is sending me memes and lyrics to the song, which is one of my favorite songs by her, Mary's song, where it says, I'll be 87, you'll be 89, which Travis's number is 87. Taylor Swift, as we know, is 1989. And I just lost it. I'm like, what? And just the, like, putting all those pieces together, which to me makes it like, is it a PR thing? But I don't know. Who knows? But I don't know. I think she's happy. Let's let her be happy. Let it be what it's going to be. And, I did think it was funny, the fact that the entire commentary yesterday was about her and not even really the game. And it reminded me of, you remember in the Barbie movie when the Barbies take back Barbie Land by distracting all of the Kens?
Yes. That's
kind of the vibe I was getting yesterday.
Yeah. Arrowhead Stadium was taken back by the Swifties yesterday. Yeah.
Which ironically, Arrowhead Stadium is also, she's got to have something with that stadium, because that's also where she had her big Speak Now, like she did the music video. She played Long Live for the first time. Like, she's got to have something special at that stadium. I don't know.
Yeah, well, she certainly does every Sunday.
About Kansas City.
There you go. Yeah, it was crazy. I had never seen anything like that for an NFL game. The power of Taylor Swift is immeasurable right now, and I mean, I'm sure would argue that it's always been that way, but it just seems like it is so mainstream right now that it is absolutely everywhere in every walk of life, and it's just growing and spreading. It's absolutely phenomenal to see. I can't recall, like, I wasn't around during the heyday of, like, I mean, I was around, but I didn't pay attention to, like, Madonna or Michael Jackson or any of that. Like, this seems bigger than that. How do we wrap our mind around what's going on with this artist?
I wouldn't say it's bigger than Michael Jackson, but like it's close. I mean, like it's on par, because you look at the numbers of people who just go to stand outside of the stadium, who don't even have tickets. And when she just performed in Mexico City, they literally had to build bleacher sets for people, because they knew that they are people who are just going to stand outside the stadiums. And so they're kind of expecting that same thing when she performs next in Argentina. And it's only going to get bigger the more stuff like this keeps happening, the more conversation that keeps building, the bigger it's going to get. And I think, especially with the next album that's releasing, and then the rumors of the Reputation album that's going to be like mysteriously dropped, it's going to just continue exploding. So yeah.
If it's a PR move, it's the best move they could make. I don't think Travis Kelce, certainly not Taylor Swift, really need that, but it is incredible. And listeners, we're going to continue to talk about it. So this is the thing now. This is going to be our segment, the Taylor Swift updates with Nikki Dunagan. I think we just
is there. I was thinking about this yesterday. Is there anybody in golf that, like, I mean, we know, like, when Tiger posted that video after his accident, when he posted that, like, what was it, 13-second video of him swinging, that it blew up on the internet. But I'm trying to think of, like, if there's anybody in golf that, like, if they were to announce that they had a relationship or something, that it would have that kind of magnitude.
Oh man. I mean, Tiger certainly is the lightning rod. I mean, obviously he's a single man again. He's going through some tumultuous times with his previous relationship. I'd imagine to some degree that would be that. I feel like if Anthony Kim came out of the woodwork and said anything, literally anything, in the golf world, that would be kind of crazy. But even then, it would be a small percentage to the reach, comparatively to Taylor. Taylor's just got the world. The world's her oyster right now.
I know. That's what I'm trying. Like, that's what I'm trying to think of. Like, because Tiger's the one who, like, who would it have to be for, like, Tiger to be rumored to connecting with, or rumored to be dating, to move the needle in the same or similar way that Taylor just did for the NFL. I can't think of anyone. Like Kim Kardashian, like, that's the only person that I can even think of. But speaking of her, it's very funny. Like, they just spent a week seeding rumors that, like, Kim and OBJ, or Odell Beckham Jr. are dating, and they secured her she was in the commercial for the Super Bowl halftime show announcement, and blip on the radar. Like, they announced that morning, and it got, like, maybe, I think when they showed the comparison, from the NFL official NFL Twitter account, that official commercial announcement got like 7,000 likes, and then the tweet from them saying that Taylor Swift was there at the Chiefs game got like 60,000 likes and 4 million views. Like, I mean, just crazy. The official halftime show announcement, which normally is a huge deal, just people completely forgot about it only like 3 hours later.
Yeah, it's nuts. This is bigger than anything we've ever seen. And that's why we talk about it, here, obviously. I feel like if Taylor and Tiger became an item, you would immediately implode.
My brain just broke even trying to process that, because I don't think it would even be like a thing. Like,
no, it couldn't. That'd be too much. It'd be way too much. But stay tuned, listeners. We'll talk more about it as more news breaks, I'm sure. Over the last week, we team events. I guess we should talk a little bit about golf. Solheim Cup. The Solheim Cup concluded for the first time ever in a tie. I will admit, we were talking a little bit beforehand. You and I didn't watch a ton of the coverage. We had a lot going on.
There wasn't a lot.
There wasn't a lot either.
That's a point that should be brought up.
Absolutely. It was weird that there wasn't a ton of coverage. And
considering they're right down the road from where the Ryder Cup is.
Correct. I think you and I did do the Barbenheimer episode for this podcast. There was I think Golf Digest published something regarding this could have been the Barbenheimer moment for professional golf. Certainly because of the fact that they're so close together, the Solheim Cup and then this week, the Ryder Cup. Was that a missed opportunity?
Yeah, 100%. It was golf.com. It was James Colgan posted that article. And it was, I mean, he made some incredible points because like they're literally right down the road from each other. There's no reason why they shouldn't have teamed up and built off of each other. The like, hey, we're supporting you, like you support us, we're supporting you, and even if there are, and I know people are going to argue, well, the men's team has to practice while they're playing, like whatever, like they can dedicate a day to go out during the finals matches. They can, something, I don't know, but at least send one or two people out that can say like, hey, look, we're here and we're supporting, even just from a marketing perspective, put them all on the same poster and say, hey, Team USA is in Rome and like, or is in Italy or is in Spain or wherever, is in Europe, whatever. And like, to just say that they're all in the same place and kind of put that marketing together and market it as we're all Team USA, I just think is a huge missed opportunity. And especially from the media standpoint, you're already in Europe. You're already getting a free-ish trip to Europe. Go to Spain. See Spain. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get from a company standpoint, well, there's budgets and we can't afford it and whatever. Like, just, I don't know. I get it, but I also don't, because people are going to want the coverage. They're going to be looking for it. And the fact that when you looked up the website had like the first thing wasn't even the scoreboard. It was tickets for next year. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. It's stuff like that just further exemplifies how different these two worlds are. And I am talking about men and women. I mean, the way that it is covered, the way that it is, just the accessibility to it, the coverage sucked. I mean, it's terrible. And honestly, it's just a matter of, to your point, if we just want to support Team America, fine. That's one avenue of it. But it's just, I swear, and I could go on a tangent and I won't, but I swear that golf continues to just get in its own way with all of this. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I am not one of those people that likes to complain about TV coverage. And I know that this is this is a much bigger thing than just TV coverage. But to your point, I mean, with all the talk leading into this, with you had brought up JT during your public apology. There was a lot of talk about the old boys club or the good old boys club. This was an opportunity to just really nip that in the bud and say, you know what, we're going to go and support and do something that no one's really expecting us to do, but we're going to go and support. We're going to have this combined effort. We're going to just market the heck out of this. And they didn't do it. And I think, because I now recall that you had brought this to our attention, that article had been written. And I have to be honest, I wasn't shocked at all, unfortunately, that the Ryder Cup, like Zach Johnson's not going to go and try to go out of his way to promote this. It's sad.
The thing is, like, Lexi is one of the most recognizable names in golf. And a Bridgestone girl, Lexi, a Bridgestone girl. And she like there was an opportunity there to be like, hey, this is an extremely recognizable name. Let's pair it with these other extremely recognizable names that we made a point to bring to Europe, like JT. Mm-hmm. They wanted to bring JT because of his recognizable name, but they didn't do that.
Yeah. It's mind-blowing. I mean, obviously it's easy to kind of play like armchair marketer or whatever, but it's still, these are easy wins. And I'm sure that other shows are going to be talking about it and they would be correct. I mean, it's one of those things that it's so obvious it would be a positive thing. And let's just call it what it is, Nikki. I mean, in a time when unifying anything regarding America would be great, this was a whiff. This was a complete miss in terms of the Solheim Cup, obviously with the historical first time ever ending in a tie for the third Solheim Cup in a row. Team Europe retains the cup. Good for them. Unfortunately, it wasn't the focus for Team USA to combine the marketing efforts, as we've been saying. But the only other thing that I recall, unfortunately, from the Solheim Cup was a little bit of controversy towards the end. And for those who didn't watch it, as we mentioned a couple times, it tied 14-14. Europe retained the cup. It was over before the final group was done, which included Lexi Thompson. The way that it played out, the Ryder Cup was essentially done on the 17th hole. It's par 3, and hundreds of people rushed the green, meaning that Lexi was essentially on the tee box waiting for 100 people to get off the putting green. Now, the reason that this is interesting is because this is not the first time something like this has happened. It happens in the Ryder Cup, but we might see something like that coming up this upcoming weekend. It is the format that this is baked into. So my question is what are your thoughts on this whole format where it can end? And we've seen this many years where it ends. There are still matches on the course. They're just kind of playing for pride at that point. Is that the best way that we could run these events? Does it feel weird to you?
I mean, on one hand, yes, because it's like, okay, I'm not even done. Like, can I finish? But on the other hand, it's like, you don't need to finish. You know that, like let the celebration happen, because like if I'm on the celebrating side, I'm going to want to celebrate,
Right.
And I think, like, if I remember correctly, we had this conversation last year or last Ryder Cup, and I don't know, like being on the celebrating side, it's like, heck yeah, like who cares if you still have, holes to play? Like, it's already over. You don't need to finish them. Who cares about your pride and wanting your record or whatever? Like, it's over. I want to celebrate with my team because that's the whole point. But when you're on the losing side and you're the one standing there, it's like, excuse me, I'm not done. And it comes from the frustration of having to stand there and watch them celebrate and like watch that loss. And yeah, I don't know.
It's a weird dynamic, and it's truly unique to golf, team events. I mean, it's not like we're going to have, Gatorade being thrown on a coach in the third quarter of the Super Bowl. It's like that. That's not the same thing. It's hard to even draw like parallels to other major sports. And it's something that we shouldn't do anyway, because golf is so unique in that way. But speaking of the Ryder Cup, it's coming up obviously in Rome. That's the big thing. I'm sure there's going to be, what's the over under on how many times you think about the Roman Empire joke being said?
Oh, I haven't actually even thought about that, because I don't think about the Roman Empire. I don't know, probably a lot, at least a few in the beginning. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
I bet there's going to be a montage. They're going to be asking JT. They're going to be asking everybody. Sam Burns, who's got USA shaved into the side of his mullet. I mean, it's going to be something. That being said, though, some of the bigger stories going into the Ryder Cup, of course, aside from that meme that's taken over social media, JT, as we've talked about, his inclusion, obviously there's going to be a big spotlight on him to perform. He knows it. Everyone knows it. Brooks Koepka being the only live golf player from either team going to Rome to play. What's interesting is, coincidentally, Live Chicago took place this past weekend. Bryson DeChambeau wins his second event in 3 starts. He makes comments. He would have expected at least a phone call. So there's going to be all that underlying whatever happens in Rome. Oh, how come Bryson didn't get a call? How come DJ didn't get a call? The storylines going into this, Nikki, does it distract from the Ryder Cup itself, an event that traditionally has been a really big deal?
So I don't think anyone is going to care about the people who didn't get a phone call once it starts. Like, I think they're just whining. And that's my personal opinion. But like, because the team that's there is the team that's there. I don't think they're going to be like, I don't think they're going to be swayed or thrown off course, and it's going to affect their play on the course because, oh, well, I heard Bryson was upset that he didn't get a phone call. Oh, well, man, my putting's going to be so off today because Deej was so pissed. Like, no, they're not going to care. First of all, they're dudes. Second of all, it's like half of them don't even like those two guys anymore. Like, I think Brooks is the only one that even has like a real relationship with them. And I mean, Brooks probably cares a little bit more about what's going on in the Ryder Cup than he does about those two dudes' feelings. Like, I think it was all just to have something to talk about last week, you know? So, so that, I mean, to that point, no, I don't think that storyline is going to be a part of it. I think they could probably try to create something out of the whole, oh, well, Brooks had to leave and go play in Chicago part of it, and try to make that a thing. But Brooks is we already know that Brooks is the type of player that, like, when it comes to a major, and he views the Ryder Cup as a major kind of level thing. We know how Brooks plays in majors, and I don't think that that's going to affect him having to go to Chicago and then come back. I don't think so at all. And then, I mean, when it comes to the haircuts,
that's so bad. God, like what?
I don't know.
What is Sam Burns even doing? Brooks at least looks like he could pull it off.
The thing is, there is nary a haircut that Brooks can't pull off.
Fair enough.
And I mean, when he did the bleach look, like when he had the Troy Bolton swoop coming out of the hat, like,
yeah,
even this one, like, he's somehow pulling it off. But Sam Burns is, I mean, it fits for Sam Burns, but then to add in the USA, I don't know. My only thing when I saw this was, like, if they do this as a team, is, you know, for it to be business in the front and party in the back. Jordan Spieth doesn't have a lot of he doesn't have a lot of business. He
just sideswipe at Jordan. Gosh.
Or partying, to be honest. Like, his party goes from like 8 to 9. Like, and then it's
in bed by 9:30.
Yeah. His business is like going bankrupt, and his party is from 8 to 9. Like, I don't.
Oh, poor Jordan. Oh.
Tune in next week first. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love, like, that's fine, but I'm just saying he doesn't have enough to, you know. And neither
tune in next week for another public apology. No, he doesn't.
I know. People are going to get so mad at me for that. Next week on Golf Unfiltered.
Yeah.
I would like to publicly apologize to Jordan Spieth for making fun of his forehead for being enormous.
Oh, poor Jordan.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. You know,
but
it's
honestly,
funny.
None of them have that much hair. Maybe Max Homa to do to do a mullet out of, you know, if they're going for the team thing.
Yeah. There's got to be some unity there. I don't think hair is it, for the reasons that I don't disagree with, my friend. The Sergio Garcia thing on the European side. Have you heard about this? How he was literally going to pay to be part of the Ryder Cup?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like what? He was going to pay, I think it was like $700,000 in fines for whomever. I didn't even look into it. I was so shocked about just the assertion that he would do this. It boggles my mind. Like, none of this is a surprise to these guys. They were told that if you go and do this and you go to live, you will not play in the Ryder Cup. And then, okay, I'm going to call your bluff. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to pay to be part of Sergio, my dude. What are you doing? What is going on?
I think, and I think I said this on the last episode too. I think Rory would quit the team if they had allowed Sergio or Ian Poulter to come on.
Probably.
And maybe not in the future. I think maybe down the line, because obviously now there's Liv is part of the PGA Tour and like blah, 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 blah. But I think because of the stance that Rory held for so long, I think this year he would have been like, nah, dog, which is saying a lot for Rory because he loves this tournament. But yeah, I think he would have put his foot down pretty hard, and they're not going to not have Rory on that team.
Correct. Yeah, Rory is European golf right now. In many ways, he's the face of the PGA Tour right now, and so there's still that faction mentality of he's got to, he's the general of the PGA Tour, and then whomever is in charge over at Liv. I know we're getting close to time here. Obviously, you're on record of saying Team USA is your pick for Ryder Cup. I'm still going with Europe. For some reason, I just think there's just so much of an advantage for Team Europe on their soil, and they've got a lot of soil to cover, which is always interesting. But do we feel that this is going to be a close Ryder Cup either way that it goes, or is there just going to be one team that blows out the other?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't have a gut feeling about that. I think because when I look at the teams side by side, my gut still says, well, yeah, like it's the US for sure. But then I think, well, like Rahm can still do a lot of damage on his own. Like,
yeah.
And because to me, there's the US still has so many names, so many more names that can carry and do damage. But like, to me, Team Europe only has like 2, maybe 3 that have been consistently kind of putting up some numbers. But if, I don't know, if those 3 go out early but then again, we just saw with the Solheim Cup, US had a 4-0 lead on day 1 and still it didn't matter. So I don't know. I keep like talking myself in circles around it. I still think, I don't know that it's going to be as big of a blowout as it was last time, but I still think the US is going to come out I still think we're going to come out pretty well.
I see it being close. To your point, having seen it just at the Solheim Cup, the early lead isn't an indication of how things will end up by any means. And the strategy about who goes out first, who gets paired together. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about, Paul Lasinger's famous pod system that perhaps might still linger. I don't know what Zach Johnson's going to do with his captaincy. Luke Donald came in kind of midway through since they kicked Henrik Stenson out of that role for the European captaincy. There's just a lot of these little unknowns that I think makes it easy for us to kind of go around and around. It's like, well, it could be this, it could be that. All of that to say, I would be very surprised if this is a lopsided victory on either side. I think there's just a lot of different strengths on both teams. We will for sure talk more about it post Ryder Cup, definitely. But as far as, final thoughts going into the weekend on the Ryder Cup, is there a specific thing that you're going to be keeping an eye out? Is it JT's performance? Is it something else that you're going to be paying close attention to?
Yeah, I think Rory for sure. Rory wants revenge for, man, that did not. Rory wants revenge. Rory wants revenge, real bad from last time. And as much as I want the US to win, it will gut me to see him cry in a post-match interview again. Like, I'll have to turn off the TV. I won't watch it because it was hard enough last time. And that being said, like, Team USA. But like, I mean, I'll be watching for that. And like, if Europe wins, that'll be the only thing that will make me feel like a little bit okay, is knowing that like Rory won't cry.
Right.
But I'll be watching for that. Also, yes, JT's performance. I think JT is also out to prove something. He's going to be out to, like, I think he's screenshotted some tweets and is like, I'm going to show y'all, like, you're about to see. I think Ricky Fowler's out to show something, because, his last Ryder Cup was the famous meme where like all the couples are kissing and he's like, I think he's out to show like, hey, look, like, show his wife and kid now how he can, how he can win one. I also think, I think Max Homa's out to prove, his, hey, I can do this as a rookie. And I think Brooks is out to prove something. Like, just because I went to live doesn't mean that I can't still be a part of this team, that I can't be a part of this crew. Like, we don't have to. I think he's out to prove a little bit of that, like, that unity, like bringing back helping the merger a little bit. Like, we can still be friends, The real Ryder Cup was the friendship that we made along the way. Like,
right. That is the storyline I'm going to be paying closest attention to. I think Brooks Koepka can be a bridge over troubled waters here, Nikki, between LIV and the PGA Tour. I think if he performs well, and I'll just say there's a better phrase than this, but in like a respectful manner, meaning that there's no like nonsense that Patrick Reed did with Rory, and that even though it was an iconic match that everyone remembers, we don't need any of that. That being said, single Sunday, I need to see Rory versus Brooks. I need to see that. That is, I will cancel all plans. I need to see it. And I think this could be a really big moment for golf in general. And I'm not even trying to like sound heavy-handed with that. I really do believe, because of the circumstances and everything that pro golf, on the men's side at least, has gone through recently, a lot of eyes are going to be on Brooks.
One other storyline I think that I will be paying attention to is the wives and their outfits. I always look forward to that a lot. And one reason I will specifically be paying attention to it a little bit more this year is comparatively comparing their outfits to what the women of the US team were given at the Solheim Cup. Because if the wives of the men's team are given better outfits than the actual players of the US Solheim Cup team, I think that's going to say a lot. And my prediction is that they will be given better outfits.
Yeah. Really, really quick on that point. Is the Ryder Cup, how much influence do the wives have on who makes the Ryder Cup?
On who makes the team?
Yeah. Is it, we all talk about a good old boys club, but I don't know. There's some masterminds.
I don't know.
I don't want to put you on the spot. But.
I don't know. I think I think it may be like when it comes down to two people and they're the same on paper, and it's like, well, this person's wife could do a little bit more promo for us versus this one. I don't know, maybe. But
even
I don't,
like the cohesiveness of the teammates too is where I'm going. Like, do you think like,
yeah.
we all get along, and this person, we all get, I think there's a little, because everyone talks about team chemistry with these things, and there's no mystery that all these players hang out.
Yeah.
And it's all that.
Well, I don't think that, like, should DJ have been on the team, his wife still gets along with all of the other wives.
Sure.
But I don't think that it came down to Brooks and Keegan when they were comparing and saying, oh, well, okay, now let's look at their wives. I don't think it came down to those two. Those were not the final two when they were comparing and having to look at, the thing. But to Keegan's own comment about, I should have been more involved and been like more a part of the club. If he's more involved in the club, his wife is also more involved in the club, and so on and so,
Yeah, totally. There's a lot that goes into these team selections. Of course, we're going to see if the teams were the right teams, and the only way that can be shown is how they perform over the weekend. And so we're going to be tuning in to the Ryder Cup. That's Nikki Dunagan from golfunfiltered.com. I'm Adam Fonseca. Be sure to follow us everywhere at Golf Unfiltered. And Nikki, it's always great to connect. We'll talk again next week.
Yep.
Your go Team USA, go Team Europe.
USA.
It is entirely based on my degeneracy. I will be transparent on that. I have money on Europe. That's all. All right, Nikki, thanks so much.